Hello students, welcome to the next video in module 1. In this video we are going to see about the concepts of multi-vector SIMD computers and programmable random access memory, then finally VLSI model. Let us go to the topic. The multi-vector and SIMD computers as the first topic. Vector processor, when you are taking vector processor, it is most similar to the architecture of SIMD. So vector processor are when we are using the vector processor means vector when the multiple datas or multiple operands going to be executed by a control unit means at that time to process the multiple data we need one processor which has to be executed in a pipelined fashion, and it should take all the functionality of multiple data streams. So in that way the processor should be capable of executing multiple data streams in a pipelined fashion. That kind of architectures are called as, and that kind of processors are called as vector processors. So the processor, the computer which has the vector processors with the scalar processing units together means that kind of computers are called as vector supercomputers. I'll repeat once again. A computer which has the capability of executing vector instructions and which has the capability of executing scalar instructions together means that kind of computers are called as vector supercomputers. In the left side you can able to see the architecture, complete architecture of this vector supercomputer. Here it starts from the main memory, a main memory which consists of both program and data, which is enabled, which is controlled by a host computer. From the host computer, that IO input and output terminals will be processing. So from the host computer to the main memory, the instruction is passed in both the directions. If the instruction is consist of scalar processing, then it will be entered into scalar processor. The dotted frames, the dotted units or models are called as scalar processor units. In the right side you can able to see the vector processing model which has the capability of executing the instructions in a vectored fashion. Here the instruction is entered into vector data. Here vector registers are there. Then from the vector register, all the data and operands should be stored in a vector register. From the vector registers, multiple data are executing in a pipelined fashion using vector functional pipeline lines. So these will be treated as a single individual streams of execution in a pipelined fashion. So this unit is called as a vector processing unit, and this top unit is called as a scalar processing unit. From the scalar unit, then instruction is given for a functional pipelining statements using a single scalar data. So that's what a separate line is given for a scalar processing with the vector processing. So if your computer has the capability of executing both the units means that kind of computers are called as a vector supercomputers. Then SIMD. SIMD supercomputer is also, it's very similar to single instruction multiple data, where you will be able to have n number of processing elements. If you take one processing elements, there will be a assembly of processors along with its local memory. Likewise, you can see the diagram here. From PE0 to PEN-1 processing, when you take one processing elements, it has one processor and its local memory inside. Likewise, each processing unit will be get connected with the interconnection network using either WAN network, MAN network, or either it may use local networks. When you take one SIMD computer, there will be 5 important tuples to be considered. What are those means? N, C, I, M, R. What is the meaning of N? Here mean N is nothing but number of processing elements in the machine. So how many number of processing elements is connected in a particular computer architecture, that shows the value of N. For example, ELIAC 4 had a 64 PEs. So that means 64 processing elements are connected in an architecture called ELIAC 4. Likewise, the N is the total number of processing elements, and C is the set of instructions directly executed by a computer control unit. So there will be a difference between the C and I. C is a set of instruction directly executed, while I is a set of instruction broadcasted by a CU to all the processing elements. So I is a broadcasted instruction, where C is the directly executed instruction. So this is what the differences between the C and I. Then whereas M is the set of masking schemes, where each mask partitions the set of PUs into enabled and disabled subsets. And finally, R is a set of data routine functions. Likewise, if you take one SIMD supercomputer, it has the 5 important tuples. Based on this 5 important tuples, that performance of your SIMD systems will vary. The next concept is PROM and VLSI model. As we know that RAM is one of the random accessible memory. It is one of the core part of our computer system. When you move on to a parallelized way of execution, the PROM also carries a different form. It also has the some other variations in its structure and its operation, where the new format of RAM is called as the PROM. PROM is nothing but parallel random access memory. Here it stands for extension of RAM model for a sequential algorithm, whereas PROM is a model which is considered for the use of parallel computations named algorithms. So PROM is an abstract model for parallel computing, and it will assume all the processes operate synchronously under a single clock cycle. So this is what the important point to be noted in PROM. All the processors are assumed to be, or it's considered to be, work on synchronized way. You can able to see this PROM architecture, where P1 to PP are the number of different processes. These assume that these processes are executing in a synchronized way, and it has the capability of accessing a one memory unit, which is called as XMAU, memory access unit, which has the P number of different parallel computing memory models. So that's what it varies from M1 to MP. So this is the structure of parallel random access memory. Here PROM consists of finite set of similar type of processors, and similar type of processor in the sense it is all homogeneous processor, and there will be a one unique index number is assigned for each processor. Here you will be able to see here P1, P2, P3, PP, like that. One Unix index number is assigned, and PROM model consists of one control unit to control the instructions fetched by all the processors in the PROM. Likewise, there will be a one memory access unit which connects the processors with a single shared memory. Then when you move on to its, this is the structure of PROM. When you move on its memory options, there will be 4 different memory update options are available in PROM. What are those means? First one is ER, second one is EW, third one is CR, and fourth one is CW. What is the meaning of ER, EW, CR, CW? These are nothing but exclusive read, exclusive write, concurrent read, concurrent write. What is the meaning of exclusive read? It allows at one processor to read it any memory location in given in a given clock cycle. So that means that in simplified form, it allows only one processor to access its memory. So if you want to get the detail from memory, only one processor is allowed in case of exclusive read. Similarly, in exclusive write, it allows only one processor to write into this memory location. This is what the formal reading and writing operation previously that RAM architecture has followed. Then the second kind of variation is if some kind of memories that allows multiple processors to read the same information from the same memory, means that kind of read are called as concurrent read. Concurrent write is also, it allows a simultaneous writes to the same memory location. Likewise, there are 4 different memory update options available in the PROM memory. According to this type of memory update option, the PROM memory is also divided into 4 different types. Those are called as 4 variants of PROM model. What are those means? First one is EREW, that means exclusive read and exclusive write. So in this kind of model, only one processor is allowed for either reading or writing the same memory cell simultaneously. So this is what ER and EW. Second type of memory is CREW. As you know that concurrent read, exclusive write. That means the write conflicts are avoided by mutual exclusions. That means that if concurrent read means more than one processor will be exclusive write and concurrent read is allowed in the CREW. That means in this kind of model, write conflicts means only one processor, no? So it will be avoided by the help of technology called as mutual exclusive. And then third type of PROM is ERCW. That means it allows exclusive read and concurrent writes. Then final version will be the CRCW. It allows both concurrent reading and writing of memory locations at the same time. So likewise, there will be 4 different variations of a PROM model is available. The last topic is VLSI model. VLSI model is, in the sense, VLSI means very large scale integrated circuits. Here one analysis has been taken here. The AT which is called as AT squared. That means where A is called as this chip area and T is called as the time. Here the one graph is written according with the value of A and T. That means that you can see the first diagram. The first diagram, it has memory limited bound on chip area A and IO limit bound on chip history represented by the volume AT. Here this is the time and this is the chip area. Here according with the values of chip area, the time is drawn, but here the communication is limited and it is a bisection of the value of AT. So that is what the upgradation they have made on VLSI model, right? I hope so this video is useful for you. I will catch you in the next video about next topic. Thank you.